Picture this, you're 38 years old and you've just stopped being able to tie your own shoes. Not because of an injury, not because of anything dramatic. You reach down one morning and your stomach gets there first. Your fingers can't quite make it to the laces and you sit on the edge of the bed breathing hard from the effort of trying. So you buy slip-ons. Problem solved. That's how it always goes lately. Every wall your body hits, you find a way around it instead of treating it like the warning it actually is. You weigh 440 pounds. You weren't always this size. There was a version of you at 22 who played pickup basketball. You barely remember that guy. The recliner in your living room has a permanent dent, shaped exactly like you. You eat there, sleep there, exist there. Standing up is a project now. You plan it. You count to 3. And one Tuesday night, halfway through a second pizza, you feel it. A heaviness in your chest that isn't the food. A squeeze, your arm tingles. Some quiet ancient part of your brain sits up and goes, "Oh, so this is the part where it happens." And it is. Oh, hey there. Before we get into what your heart has been quietly trying to tell you for the last decade, let's play a quick game. Pop quiz. Which of these does not actually kill people who are morbidly obese? A, your heart slowly failing. B, fluid filling up your lungs. C, your airway collapsing while you sleep. D, your stomach exploding from one too many buffets. If you guessed D, congratulations. You've correctly identified the only one that's a cartoon. The other 3 are real. They're common, and at least 2 of them are probably already happening inside you right now. Your stomach is fine, it's everything around it that's about to give out. So let's actually talk about what carrying an extra 250 pounds does to a human body, because it's not the thing most people think. Your body isn't a balloon that pops, it's a machine being asked to run a workload it was never built for years, until parts start failing one by one. And just so we're on the same page about how normal this is, roughly 42% of American adults are obese and around 9% are severely obese. This isn't some rare medical curiosity. This is the most common preventable death story there is, and almost nobody films it because it takes 20 years and there's no villain. Here's the core problem. Your heart is the same size as everyone else's. A clenched fist, roughly. It doesn't get bigger just because you do. So when you're 440 pounds, that same fist-sized pump is suddenly responsible for pushing blood through way more tissue than it was designed for. More fat, more skin, more everything, all of it hungry for oxygen, all of it on the delivery route. Imagine hiring one delivery driver and then quadrupling the size of the city. He's going to be late. He's going to burn out. That's your heart. To keep up, it pushes harder, which drives your blood pressure up, and chronic high pressure makes the heart muscle thicken and stiffen like an overworked bicep that never gets to relax. A stiff heart feels badly. A heart that feels badly pumps badly. You see where this is going. Then there's the squeezing. All that weight sitting on your chest and packed around your organs physically compresses your lungs and your heart. You can't take a full breath because there's no room for your lungs to expand into. And your fat isn't just sitting there politely. Fat tissue is hormonally active. It pumps out a low, constant drip of inflammatory chemicals that scar your blood vessels and help plaque build up inside them. Stack on the usual roommates that show up with obesity, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, and you've basically assembled a starter kit for cardiovascular collapse. Sleep apnea deserves its own mention because it's so cruelly efficient. When you lie down, the weight around your neck and throat presses your airway shut. You stop breathing, sometimes dozens of times an hour. Your oxygen drops, your brain panics you half awake, your heart slams to compensate, and this happens during the one block of time your heart was supposed to be resting. So your heart never clocks out. It works the day shift and the night shift every night for years. Eventually, it does what any worker pushed that hard does. It quits. Not all at once. It just gets weaker, baggier, less efficient, until instead of pumping most of the blood out with each beat, it's managing maybe a third, and the leftover blood starts backing up into your lungs and your legs because there's nowhere else for it to go. That's congestive heart failure. Your heart fails at its one job, and the fluid it can't move congests wherever gravity leaves it. Let me walk you through how this actually ends, because it doesn't happen in a night. It happens over months while you tell yourself it's something else. Early on, you're just tired. Not sleepy, tired. The other kind. The kind where walking to the kitchen leaves you parked against the counter, catching your breath. Your ankles balloon by evening. You blame the chair, the weather, your age. Then you start waking up at 3 a.m. feeling like you're suffocating. Heart hammering, sitting bolt upright, gasping. That's fluid creeping into your lungs while you lie flat. You should call someone. You don't. You already know they'll say lose weight, and you don't need to leave the house to be told the obvious. A couple months later, you can't lie down at all. You sleep upright in the recliner, head back, mouth open, because flat means drowning. Your legs are so swollen the skin goes shiny and tight and sometimes leaks clear fluid on its own, just weeping because there's nowhere to store it. Your appetite vanishes, which is the bitter joke of the whole thing, because a failing heart starves your gut of blood and food starts making you nauseous. You lose weight, finally, the wrong way, your body eating its own muscle, then your lips go faintly blue, your fingertips gray, and you cough up frothy pink stuff that is, to be clear, your lungs leaking. Your heartbeat goes haywire, racing to 140 sitting still, then stumbling, skipping, fluttering. Eventually, it gets bad enough that you call 911 for real, and the paramedics arrive and discover they can't actually get you out. They call for backup. The neighbors watch from their windows. You're too short of breath to be as humiliated as you'd normally be, which is its own small mercy. At the hospital, they confirm what your body already filed paperwork on. Heart failure, pumping at maybe a quarter of what it should. They flood you with diuretics and you urinate out 15 pounds of fluid in 2 days and breathe a little easier, and then the cardiologist sits down and is honest with you. You're not a transplant candidate at this weight. You're too high risk for surgery. The only fix is losing 200 pounds, and that ship sailed years ago. So you go home with oxygen, a hospital bed, and a nurse who comes by. The fluid keeps coming back faster than the pills can pull it out. And one evening, you're in that recliner, mask on full blast, and you feel that pressure again. Not pain exactly, just everything getting heavy at once. Your heart stops beating in any useful rhythm and starts quivering uselessly, and your vision tunnels, and you're cold and sweating at the same time, and then you're not anything. The TV keeps playing. From that first squeeze of chest tightness to this, about 6 months. So what does it actually feel like? For years, it doesn't feel like dying at all. It feels like slowly losing arguments with your own body. Stairs get harder, chairs get smaller, breathing gets shallower, and you adapt to every single loss instead of fighting it. Then the failing heart part arrives and it feels like drowning with no water in sight. You can't get a full breath no matter how hard you pull. Every inhale comes up short. It's exhausting in a way that's hard to describe. The kind of tired where lifting your own arm feels like a decision. There's a fog over your thoughts because your brain's running low on oxygen, so you lose track mid-sentence, forget what you walked into the room for. And the whole time there's that grim irony hanging over it, that the thing that comforted you your whole life is now the thing you physically cannot do. The actual end isn't sharp. It's not a scream. It's more like a machine that's been overloaded for too long finally tripping its breaker. Lights out, no drama. Reality check. Obesity is linked to more than 200,000 deaths a year in the United States, which makes it the second leading cause of preventable death, right behind smoking. Severe obesity can quietly shave 8 to 10 years off your life, meaning a death in your 50s instead of your 80s. And here's what makes this one different from almost everything else this channel covers. You can't decide not to get cancer. You can't dodge a drunk driver by wanting to. But this one mostly bends to choices made over a very long time, which is not me telling you it's simple, because it isn't. Food addiction is real and it runs on the same brain wiring as any other addiction. The same hijacked dopamine, the same cravings that don't care about your willpower or your blood pressure. Telling someone 400 pounds to just eat less is about as useful as telling a drowning person to just breathe better. So if you're struggling with this, the move isn't shame, it's a doctor. Because the early and middle stages of this are genuinely reversible, and there are real medical tools now that didn't exist a decade ago. The point of all this isn't to make you feel terrible. It's that the dent in the recliner doesn't appear overnight. It builds one ordinary evening at a time, and any one of those evenings is a place you're allowed to turn the car around. So there you have it. Dying from obesity, slow, preventable, and so common it barely makes the news. The good news is that almost nobody on this list of deaths gets a 6-month warning siren as loud as this one, and you can absolutely answer it. The bad news is the world is basically engineered to keep you in that chair, with cheap addictive food a tap away and every excuse pre-installed. But people have quit cigarettes. People have walked away from worse. A body you spent 20 years building, you can spend some of the next few rebuilding. Like and subscribe if you like these cheerful little videos. Stay safe out there, take the warning seriously, and if your body's been quietly mentioning that something's wrong, maybe answer it before it stops asking nicely.